Let's make this official. Bellevue and the surrounding counties, a big Pacific Northwest welcome to Mr. Jensen Ackles and JaredPadalecki.
Hey, you boys. How you lady? How we doing? Yeah, you are. Who's first time? Welcome. I'm going to aim this over to you because
why are you doing this, man?
you are running hot there, big boy.
It's actually not as bad in this room as it was in the photos.
Well, it's because I'm so cool.
Well, I'm so hot.
Thank you.
Good to be here. Good to see y'all. Thank you so much, as always, for bringing us out. Welcome to our new family members, and good to see you again, longtime friends. So here we go. There was a little lunch miscommunication, so we were just waiting. Like we kind of eat a little bit, so we're stuffing food.
We just wander in, hearing the solo. We were like, Rob's like, we've been playing for 10 minutes. Sorry, but we're here, and
let's have a chat.
Yeah, let's have a chat. Where do you want to start?
I'll start over here.
Let's go over here.
Howdy.
Oh my gosh, no.
It's okay. We all do.
So now that the show's over and you've had some different haircuts, I was wondering if there's a favorite one you've had for your different characters, or if you really just love the Sandy Dean haircut.
I only think I've had one haircut in 20 years outside of work. Outside of work. Like I wouldn't cut my hair. I would just like, oh, I don't know, they might want it long, they might want it short. And then what was that season where I had like down to my waist?
Your Fabio years?
Yeah, I don't miss that. I liked it short because I was in Texas and it's hot there. but I haven't cut it since the show ended, so I don't know. Let's see how it goes. My mountain man era
It's back.
It's back. I'm in. What about you? What's your
I miss the short hair. It's so much easier to deal with, but my wife is very adamant about she likes it a little longer. So great. So I've let it kind of grow out. It's here for a while, and I don't know. We'll see where it goes. This little whatever you call it. Yeah, it's a mullet, I guess.
Did I tell you the story about when Shep wanted to get a mullet?
No.
Oh my god. I have nothing against mullets. He wanted to get a mullet, but he had his best buddy in school, this would have been maybe 2 years ago, and they were coming around again, but they weren't well done like that. They were like mullets you get at the corner when you're getting like gasoline and a milkshake. They're like, we can give you a mullet too for $2. And so Jen is taking Shep because she's going to get her haircut, and he wants to get a mullet. He's already in the car. And I was like, no, he's not getting a mullet. And she goes, well, you got to tell him. I was like, all right. So I storm out to the car. I'm like, Shep. He's like, yeah. I was like, you're not getting a mullet. He goes, you're not getting a mullet. And he goes, why? And I go, because people have mullets, live in the woods, and they eat poop. She's great. And then I got my phone, and I went to YouTube, and I showed a clip of Joe Dirt. So he did not end up getting a mullet. But I think he wanted like a full-on...
Yeah, he wanted like the white trash, like full on, yeah. This happened when I was doing tracker earlier this year. Person that was doing hair was actually, she did the last, I think, 2 seasons of Supernatural, Brit. And so she was the hair assistant for the last 2 seasons of Supernatural, so I was like, oh my gosh. And so that was really cool, and so she looked after me while I was doing that episode. And then at the end, I was like, well, I don't have any work lined up after this, and it's summertime, and she's like, you want to do something crazy? And I was like, whatever you want to do. And so she kind of did this, and I was like, oh, I kind of like it. It's nice and chill and soft. So I don't know what it's going to look like in a month from now, but because I'm starting a new show, and that's going to be. I have to figure out what that guy looks like, but haven't yet so far. I do talk about that show story. It reminded me of when I was in high school. The undercut, the shave kind of undercut is like really popular. And me and my buddies all had it. And it wasn't like we all went to the same haircut person. We did it in the driveway over a trash can. Like you just lean over and let all the hair, and then your friend with clippers would just like, we gave each other haircuts in high school, so at least he's not doing that yet. Yeah. So I don't know if that answers your question, but there's 5 minutes on there.
There you go.
My name's Charlie. I watched the show like with my mom and my sister all throughout COVID. It was like a huge part, and I love it so much. But my question is, if you had any role in a movie or TV show other than Supernatural, like what would it be? Like over any time?
Like our full resume?
Anything other than what we've done.
Yeah. Thank you, Charlie. What?
He's Batman!
Which Batman? The one prepared to meet your chilling doom.
Freeze. Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, he'd be Batman, like the Val Kilmer Batman, and Batman was Batman Forever, and I'd be Arnold as Mr. Freeze. Prepare to meet your chilling doom.
He just goes, chill.
I can nail that. Yeah.
I don't know, is there an aging Batman that I could... Thank you, I appreciate that. I was fishing for compliments and you hit the hook.
Bat Senior? Bat Diggy's discount?
AARP, Okay, I think film roles, let's just do TV. Like a TV show that was on or is on, is there a show and a role that seems fun for you?
Yeah, tons. One of my favorite roles was Jason Bateman in Arrested Development. So funny. I think I probably ruined every take though by laughing at what everybody else is doing.
Will Arnett.
What about you? Just you.
Jen from The Office.
Thank you, Charlie. And thank you, Mom, too. Glad you're joining us.
Thanks.
you. Hi.
Jared, I just want to thank you for having us stop here calling so we got to meet you.
Thanks for letting me come crash.
I'm sorry to everybody, it's going to be something only I want to know. My other favorite show is called Time, and I'm a huge Padalecki fan, and you guys are both excellent singers, and I'm just wondering if maybe you know him, and maybe you could collaborate with him with Radio Company, and if you don't know him, if there's anybody you do know that you would like to collaborate with Radio Company.
Oh gosh, I don't, but yeah, I mean, anybody talented that can teach me a thing or two. It's always fun to create stuff with really fascinating artists, whether it's in front of a camera or whether it's sitting around with a guitar. So, I mean, yeah, I would be, when it comes to music, I don't have near the confidence that I wish I had. And I would feel that greatly if I was in the presence of somebody that did possess that talent and confidence. So I don't know how that would go. That makes me nervous just thinking about it right now. But again, the reason that I'm here from an acting standpoint is because I was able to witness and surround myself and work with people that I could learn from and that could challenge me and help me grow as an artist. So I would only hope to do that in other capacities, music being one of them. That was the art of answering the question without answering the question. That's what that is.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Persephone. I'm from Silverdale, Washington. And I loved you guys on the show, obviously. I'm Team Logan. Sorry, Jared.
It's all right. He's very
I'm
good.
just wondering if your characters knew that they could do something and completely not fail at it. Like anything, balls to the wall, doesn't matter what it is. What would your character do?
Not fail at it?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh gosh. Squirrel suit. If we could hunt demons in a squirrel suit, flying down. Anything that doesn't involve rebar, I think. Too soon? I said does not involve rebar. Barn reconstruction. Finishing out. Squirrel suit. I'm on squirrel suit.
That's a good one. That's so fun, but man, the mistake for error is no, because I know that's true. Yeah, you're not going to fail. Yes, flying down the side of a mountain would definitely be fun. What a thrill that would be. It's something that I'm actually currently doing, but if I could not fail at it, that would be great. And that's being a father. I'm gonna fail. There's gonna be failures along the way. Yeah, but I might have to double up on the squirrel suit. Yeah, although would yours be a moose suit? to be supposed to with Ackles.
Big giant goose suit. Thank you for saying.
Thank you.
Cheers. Hi.
Hi, my name is Wenhui, and I live in Seattle. Just graduated from UW. And my question is for both Jared and Jensen, and it's have you ever been in situations that you're worried about how others look at you, or I guess it's called self-conscious? If so, how did you overcome, or if not, any advice for that?
If we were ever worried that someone would accept us?
Have
Other people look at you, like how other...
we ever been in a situation where we were worried about what other people were, you know...
All the damn time.
Right now. Yeah. Currently happening right now. How am I dealing with it? Inside, I'm like this.
Yeah, all the time. I think it's good and bad. Like, I don't want to change who I am based on what other people see me as or how other people judge me, but I also don't want to be oblivious. Like, if 10 people come up to me and they're like, hey, you're being a jerk, I don't want to be like, I don't care what you think of me. It's like, maybe I'm being a jerk. Like, am I being a jerk? Or like, hey, that was really nice what you did. And you're like, cool, I thought it was nice. Okay, they thought it was nice. Okay, I like that, like more of that. I think, you know, and as that's part of also...
It's better to be self-aware than unaware.
Yeah, I'd rather have some idea, and also, you know, when you're acting to some extent, you're doing what you know is right for yourself and the character, but you also got to think about how other people are going to... It's all communication, right? And so you're trying to tell a story for, let's say, Sam Winchester or Dean Winchester, and you're like, I know when I do this, I feel this way. Will they understand that? Like, do I need to massage it a little bit? It's like you're constantly editing, and so maybe that becomes part of our habits, you know, because you're, you know, take two. Like, hey, you didn't seem like you were really upset with Dean. Like, well, shit, I felt upset. Okay, well, let me see if I can like, communicate that a little bit more. But yeah, you know, we have a lot of people looking at us right now.
We also came up in an industry that literally is based the majority of the time on rejection. You walk into a casting office and you're trying to, I mean, of course you're like, now I'm trying, of course I care what they think about me because I'm trying to get a job. And we have been rejected way more than we have been accepted in just our professional career. And so I think we kind of had to learn at an early age that you go into that office and you can't let their perception of you change what you can do. You can only do the best that you can in front of that small room or big room, whatever it is. You can only go there and do the best that you can, and then it's not up to you. And you can't change people's minds. You can't, you know, I mean, it's they're going to think what they think. So you can only do what you can do. And I think that's given us a bit of a tool to use in real life, to know that we can only do what we can do. We do it the best of our ability and leave it at that and be proud of what we've done. And if somebody rejects us for that, then that's on them. And they're stupid.
Thank you. And congratulations on graduating UW.
I was wondering.
Am I right?
Yes! Oh yeah. What has been your biggest or your latest parenting backfire?
How much time do we have? Food.
I can be very literal as a person. Sometimes my friends tease me about how I'll tease them about grammar or something. And so Shep, our 10-year-old, has kind of taken the reins for me as the, you know, like, Shep, give me a minute. Okay, it's been 60 seconds. Like, give me some time. That was some time. Shut up! So I try to be you know, with my kids at least, I try to be very particular with my words. I don't want to give them the wrong impression. I want to be clear about what I expect of them and of them. And so Shep and Tom and Odette have gotten a little sense of their dad's kind of mischievous, like, oh, you didn't say the perfect thing. Quit Jareding me. So that's kind of what sticks out in my head. It's yeah. I deserve it.
I would say the latest fail was Thursday when I took the kids out and we were running around and having fun, and I was explicitly told by my wife not to give them ice cream. I gave them ice cream. And we don't do that often because they react horribly. They turn into gremlins, that's true. And then I brought them home immediately after, and I was like, don't tell your mom I gave you. And they were like vibrating and spiraling all over the house. And she was just like, you clearly gave them ice cream. And I was like, yeah, I did do that. She's like, why? I was like, I don't know. That was a fail. That was on me. That was a fail. I understand now why. I just thought that you didn't want me to reward them because then they would have liked me more. But I get that was not at all the case. That you were just concerned about how they would act when they come home, and now dinner is ruined, and that's on me. I'll take that one. So I failed. But then that evening, my 11-year-old daughter went into her room and quiet for quite some time, and she knew I had to leave for the weekend. And she came out and she gave me this bracelet, and it says "Best Dad" on it. So sorry guys, sorry. So that was a win.
Thank you, Emma.
Thanks, Emma.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Shannon. I was told to keep this quick. I just wanted to let you and everyone involved in Supernatural know that you brought joy and comfort to my mother in her last days. She was a super fan to the end. Jared, you're her favorite. She likes him tall.
He's not sure. I'm not sure.
She's like my size, and she likes to, wants something to climb, I guess.
She wants on the clock so she can squirrel suit off of it, right?
She does you, Jared. You made her last days very enjoyable.
Amazing. Glad we all did that together because none of us would be here without each other. So very cool. Thank you. Hi there.
Hi, I'm Justice. I'm from Spokane.
Hey, nice name.
Thank you. My question is for both of you. What has been your least favorite episode to shoot, and what is your favorite episode that you've shot so far? It doesn't have to be Supernatural.
Okay. I think I'll go with Supernatural because those are varied episodes I did. God, least favorite.
Bugs.
Bugs is definitely up there.
Bugs is up there, but I think with Bugs, funny enough, it wasn't even being in a room with 80,000 bees, actual bees, that sucked. It was that we didn't really love the story. It was episode 7 or something, right? So we were still trying to figure out who we were, and we had these knockout episodes like The Pilot, and Hookman, Phantom Traveler, Death in the Water, and then Bugs felt like, oh, are we just filming space all of a sudden? Like, what are we doing here? It was fine, I like teasing it. I'm actually going to say something weird. I think my favorite episode to shoot was kind of also, at the time at least, my least favorite episode to shoot, which was French Mistake. And that's one of my all-time favorite episodes of the show. I was a sweaty, nervous wreck. I was like, I'm having to play myself, kind of, and then we're having to be funny, kind of, and then we're having to sit like, is this going to be jumping the shark? Is the audience going to go like, what the hell are they making me watch? I also loved it because we got to be so silly and kooky, but it was really nerve-wracking. Even though it was a lot of fun, it was just nerve-wracking.
I would say anything to do with Leviathans was my least favorite. Yeah, eating turducken sandwiches. Don't recommend it. Just don't. And then one of my favorite, and I could probably come up with a few more, but we actually talked about it earlier today, was Baby. Because to have done as many episodes as we had done by that time, and then do something that was truly unique and different. And Jared and I were saying that it was like we were really Sam and Dean in that moment, because there was no crew around. There was, makeup and hair and wardrobe and sound and electrics and grips and camera department. Nobody was there. It was just he and I in a car with a few cameras strapped to the hood. Jared's dealing with the sound machine, putting the slate up and marking all the cameras, and then we were just like, let's go. And we put the car in gear and head down the road and have a scene with just he and I, and we do it a couple of times. And meanwhile, the whole crew's back at base camp going, I hope this works out. I hope they come back. They're like, we can't even trust these guys to, drive from, because one time we were driving, we were doing a scene, it was the thing, but no. That was a different episode. We had a driving scene, as we often do, and it was supposed to, the end of the scene is us pulling out and driving down the road, and then we have a radio in the car, and we got cut, and we would turn around and come back, and this was the last shot, the last take before we broke for lunch. And base camp was that way, and the car was going that way. And they yelled cut, and I just kept driving. And you could hear our first AD on the walkie. Cut, Jensen, stop the car. What do you do? Stop the car, turn left, and then Jared just turns the walkie off. I was hungry. So then we get back to base camp, which was, a mile down the road, and it turned in, and it's this like gravel parking lot that they parked all the trailers on. Well, I wasn't done. So we went in, we came in hot, and I started doing donuts in the parking lot. But the bad thing is it was like a lot of rocks. And we just see crew members diving behind trucks. They're like, what are they doing?
Like, they're running, they're like hitting the deck. These cops are like,
it's like a Gatling gun of pebbles shooting at every one of our crew members. Good times. Thanks.
Thank you. Was it when?
I don't know.
Hi, how are you?
Hey guys, I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful, thank you.
I'm Sabine from Maple Ridge, Canada. So this is a question for both of you, but you were asked within a European convention, Jared, about how you implement different body language for different characters or different versions of Sam. And I was wondering if you guys could both elaborate on how you do that. For example, for you, Jensen, how you went from not showing your team in The Boys, for example, if you could talk about that. And the fan that tweeted about that said that you demonstrated, Jared, how you went from Gadriel to Soulless to Lucifer on stage. And I thought that was so cool. So if you wouldn't mind.
That's lucky.
I don't remember doing that. I believe it. I don't remember a lot. I think for me, the physicality is something that I don't necessarily think about how I would physically look as much as how I would physically feel and where I breathe from and the confidence. Obviously, when I was Samifer in the white suit, I liked it, but he had no fear. He was just relaxed and confident, shoulders back, and there was nothing that could scare him, so he didn't have to kind of be jerky. Whereas sometimes, like, Sam has had his concerns, and so he's a little bit more on edge. I don't know if it's even, I don't know, what do you, because for me, I don't necessarily think about it as much as I think about a character's hands a lot. like if they're emotive with their hands, or if they're calm with their hands, or if they're fidgety with their hands, and what scenes they might be or might not be. But it's all just a form of communication. Like back to the earlier question about do you worry about or think about what people think of you? And I guess in character, I certainly do. Because when playing Sanford, I don't want to seem skittish and cowardly, right? You want to feel like supremely confident. And then breaking back and forth between like Sam and Gabriel, obviously they were very different people. Well, one wasn't even a person. But yeah, I guess it's all part and parcel of what goes into building a character, I suppose.
Mine just boils down to how many degrees of bow-leggedness I've tried. Some require more and some require less. That's it. That's all I've got.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Hello.
My name is Angela. I am from Utah. I'm currently in the nursing program. I'm due to graduate. I'm due to graduate in August. And so my question is, what are the worst injuries either one or both of you have sustained while on set?
While on set?
Yeah.
You broke your hand.
I broke my hand. I broke a couple toes this season on Walker.
I stabbed him in the leg.
Stabbed me in the leg. I tore some ligaments in my knee in season 2 of Walker. We've had some injuries. It's always like banged up and bruised up. But I think the broken hand was probably the one that lasted the longest. When season 2, I ended up wearing the cast for a couple episodes. Yeah.
The rotator cuff with your shoulders.
That wasn't on set. That was me and Kevin Tran, aka Oscar, horsing around. I mean, like off set, like the car accident was a pretty big deal. But I wasn't on set. You know, I was filming. But yeah, maybe I'm accident prone or something. Have you had anything? I'm big. I take up a lot of space, so something's bound to go wrong. Have you had bad?
I haven't had any like debilitating ones like he did, like where now he's got to have a cast on his hand, or now he's having to really like favor his knee and stuff like that. I've been banged up. Maybe the worst is like I really messed up my lower back. Like I really tweaked my lower back once on a stunt, and it was something that like lasted for about a month. And so much so that I tried this new thing called IMS, which is intermuscular stimulation, which is where they take a needle and they poke it into the muscle and then manually move it around until the muscle contracts. And what it does is, effectively like hitting a reset button on the muscle, so it seizes up, and then over the course of a few hours, it like kind of goes back into place. And that really helped me out. And I'm like a big, definitely advocate of that. If people have back issues, to try that out. It may work, it may not, but it worked for me. And like that was something that, when your back is hurt, it's like everything you do, everything you do.
Muscle stimulation.
Yeah, and so that's, but yeah, like you said, cuts, bruises.
Did you jack your back yellow-eyed demon in the cemetery and then flung you, or?
Oh yeah, that was the elbow. When I get thrown back against the gravestone, and Fred Lane or Yellow-Eyed Demon was like walking up to me just before Ghost Dad appears and grabs him. I threw myself against this set piece that was made of like hard foam, except for the base of it, which was actually made of stone. And I hit my elbow right on the ulnar nerve. It was like taking a ball peen hammer right on your funny bone, just going whack. And my entire arm felt like it was on fire while the scene was going on, and I just suffered through it. But my right elbow has never been the same. It's more like if I actually bang against something, it's way more sensitive than my left because of that injury. So stuff like that, not debilitating, but sucks. Yeah, we definitely, there's it was a running joke on set quite a bit with our stunt coordinator, and it still is today with any of the stuff that I do. The stunt coordinator whenever we're doing any kind of like fight scene or stunt, throwing ourselves across the floor or flinging ourselves into a wall or whatever it is, they always come up and say, you know, you guys want to put some elbows, knees and elbows, they call them. You put your knee pads on your elbow pads, maybe a back pad, maybe a hip pad, and we just never did. And Lou Bolo was our stunt coordinator for many, many years, and he's like, I don't know why I'm asking, but I have to ask, would you like pads? And I'm like, I'm good, Lou. So we would bang ourselves up quite a bit, but a lot of it was our fault.
And they come up and be like, hey, Jared, you want your knees and your elbows and your hips? And I'd be like, did you ask Jensen? Yeah, we already asked him. What did he say? He said he didn't want them. Fuck, I don't want them either.
It was a guest star that came on that did that exact thing. That like, it was a big fight scene, and I think I was fighting him, I forget who it was. But Lou came up and was like, to him, and was like, do you want some knees and elbows and that stuff? And he literally, to Lou was like, is Jensen wearing it? And Lou goes, Jensen doesn't wear pads. And he's like, well, then I'm not going to. So, don't take any cues from me, I'll get you hurt.
Thank you so much, congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers.
My name is Emma, and my question is for both of you, and it's if you could be a monster from Supernatural, what monster would you be and why?
Wendigo.
Wendigo's pretty easy for me. I think it was, I wouldn't call this a monster, but it was I had probably the most fun playing bad angels. You got good songs. You got good well. I love the kind of mental gymnastics you have to play when you're like, wait, they're an angel, but wait, what's their real motivation? And they're pretty all-powerful, almost. So that's, I'll go with that. Lucifer was fun, strangely.
Yeah, I'd say in the realm of Supernatural, I think either angel or demon is probably the most fun to play, because there's just an air about being able to be that powerful and walk into a room and know that there's very little that can take you out. And that kind of, that's always fun to play. Just, knowing that you're the ultimate badass. It's fun. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Emma.
I came a great distance to see you guys on Seattle. My question is, are there scenes or a scene that once you did your bit, the acting, wonderful acting by the way, and you saw with special effects and music and editing and all of that stuff, that has struck you really differently than what you remember when you acted on set?
All the time. Because obviously we don't have any of that when we're playing on camera. We don't have the score, we don't have the sound effects, we don't have the, any of that post-production magic.
But is there one in particular that just really struck you, that was memorable?
Yes.
The aerial fight between Michael and Lucifer. We were both struck by it. Let's just leave it at that. You decide how.
Traumatized by it. It makes me think of maybe my favorite music cue. And this was something that I remember watching the episode on TV, because Jared and I would often on the nights that it would air, we'd usually be filming, so we would race back to our trailer and try to watch it as live as possible. And I remember watching the bank scene, the bank, was it night watch? Night shift. Night shifter. Night court? When all we did was simply walk out of the bank in full tactical gear and walk through the parking lot and get into the Impala and just look at each other and just be like that felt very, didn't feel like that big of a moment. It was the end of the episode, and we were just like, all right, on to the next quest. But when they put in Renegade by Styx, that then became one of my most favorite moments in the series. Just it's amazing what the right music or right score can do to elevate a moment on camera. So we got to be beneficiaries of a lot of that, because we would see the final product, and there's a lot of times we'd be like, oh wow, okay, that didn't suck. But there were also those moments where we're like, wow, that was awesome, that was cool. All right. Those post guys know what they're doing.
They do. They do.
Yeah. They're true artists, and they don't get enough credit, but they are true artists.
What's your
second favorite music cue?
The fairy.
Mine is the fairy.
Yeah, Bowie.
Yeah, Bowie.
Fight the Fairies, but that was really good. I would say this isn't a music cue, but another moment of amazing post-production magic was the introduction to death. Because we're not, Julian wasn't acting in slow motion, but when Phil slowed that down, it punctuated that moment and that entrance so beautifully that I think it was just one of the greatest entrances that Supernatural's ever seen. But,
love you too. Thank you. Hi.
Hello, boys. I'm Valerie, and I'm from San Antonio.
Heard of it.
I recently celebrated my birthday in the 40-year-ish range, that's all I'm going to say. And I was thinking that if I could wear a warning label on myself, it would probably say out of order a lot of the times. And so I was wondering what your warning label would be.
Watch out for Valerie, she's out of order. Like I'd be like the discount meat aisle, like past the time. Expired a little bit of while expiration date. Beyond expiration date. I'll go with that. I'm sticking to it. I like to set the bar low. What about you? These objects are taller than they appear.
It would be like a very small plaque, where it's right on the back, and it just says, if you can read this, you're entirely too close.
Then why would you make it small? Why don't you make it larger?
It's very large, and it says across my whole back. Or what's the other one? It's like I said, if you're reading this, please turn me back. It's like, okay.
One on Ken and Hero that says you can read.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kate. I'm from Seattle. What is your idea of heaven? That both of you could answer
I always think, and this isn't necessarily my idea, but it's something that's always stuck with me. And I read this somewhere, and I forget who said this or quoted this, but they describe heaven as a big long table full of amazing food. And I'm sorry, this is heaven and hell. And it's a big long table in both heaven and hell. Both are filled with the most amazing food and buffet that you could possibly imagine. And everybody sitting around the table has, their arms don't bend. And in hell, people are trying to like toss food up into their face, but they can't feed themselves. And in heaven, they're feeding each other.
Yeah, some version of that. Some version of that.
Sylvie has food involved.
Yeah, food. No, some version where I'm surrounded by people I love and trust, that love and trust me. You know? Come on, come on. Thank you. Yeah.
My name's Jamie. I'm from Bellingham, and my question is
Go Bellingham.
what is your favorite improv scene that made it into the final cut, or scenes for Supernatural?
We never really improv the scene. We certainly improv stuff.
We did do a scene that, and I'll give Jared full credit for this. We were reading this scene in the makeup trailer like we usually would do. We would run lines while we're, getting through the works, as they call it. And this one scene, we were about to go shoot, and we were reading lines, and it felt wrong. Something was off, and like the dialogue just didn't seem right for me, and his dialogue didn't seem right for him, and we were struggling with it. Like maybe we change a few words, or maybe we take out a line, and we just couldn't find it. It just felt wrong, and it was a big scene. It was where the brothers kind of like break up and go their separate ways. That happened on a bridge, and he was like, hey, he got this crazy idea. I don't know where it came from, but he goes, hey, do me a favor, read all of Sam's lines, and I'm going to read all of Dean's lines. And I was like, oh, okay. And we read it, and that was it. It clicked, it worked. So we go to set, they call us, they're ready to shoot the scene, and Bob Singer's directing. They're like, hey Bob, we got an idea. And he's like, oh, great. What? And Jared goes, well, we're going to read the scene for you. Tell us what you think. He's like, all right. So we read the scene where I'm reading all the Sam's lines and he's reading all Dean's lines. And Bob didn't have the script in front of him. He's just listening to us play it out. And we finish the scene and he goes, yeah, that's great. What's the problem? Like, I just read all the Sam's lines. He just read all Dean's lines. He's like, what? He looks at the script. He's like, well, then just do that. So, not necessarily improv, but definitely a curveball. Like Jared said, there was never full scenes that we improv, but there was lots of bits and pieces that we would throw in and add a little color to a scene, or largely at the end of scenes, there were things. One of your favorite ones is when I slugged you.
I thought it was the Meg Demon, and
yeah.
finally on exercise, and I was like, you should punch him.
Yeah, it was his call. I was like, what do you mean? Oh yeah, I should. I would be pissed.
Are you all right? Go to hell.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think so. All right. What was that for? So yeah, you can probably keep your eyes out and pick out a few that that doesn't seem scripted. That seems like Jensen and Jared just being a little loose.
It was. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You got it.
And my question is, both of you can answer, has there ever been a moment on set or, in a series that has made you so seriously contemplate quitting acting, and who was the person who helped you stay? Who was your grounding stone that really made you want to keep in this career? Or has there just been a moment that's made you say, I'm done with this, and what helped you stay in the career?
Great question. I think I know what you're asking. There were certainly several moments, there were countless moments where it's like, this is more than I got. And more often than not, when it happened on set, I was on set with Jensen, or I worked with Jensen, so it's like, hey, we got it, we've been through harder, let's figure this out and just get through the day. And there was always that great feeling at the end of the day when you did something you didn't think, that prior to that day you didn't think you were capable of doing. There were certainly some uncomfortable scenes or sequences, or, it generally didn't have to do with acting or the character. I'm not a writer, and so I've accepted as an actor that I'm going to be largely telling somebody else's story and hopefully able to weave in my own where it's possible and learn from their story when possible. So it hasn't really had anything to do with what my character did. It's usually when something is, just like with everybody, when something is going on in your head or in your real life, in your work, you're like, I don't like anything right now. Like, I don't want to do, not that I don't want to act, I just don't want to be here. I don't want to be anywhere. And I think a lot of that was Ackles, when I was experiencing that with work, at work. I think a lot of, the most I ever wanted to leave acting was, frankly, when I had to leave Austin and fly to Vancouver. Vancouver, as many of y'all know, many of y'all are from there, it's one of the most beautiful cities on the planet. It's amazing, nice people, great food, Loved our crew, loved our cast, but there's something about, when you're saying bye to your kid, 6 p.m. on a Sunday, and they say, when do you come back? You say, I'll be back in 12 days. But I'll FaceTime you, and they start crying, and they don't want you to leave for the airport, and you're running late. That sucks. That's rough. And I feel for parents, anybody who has to leave on a regular basis. That was probably the most rough. But I could also talk about that, like, it sucks. Like, JJ has a teacher's appointment on this day after this, or Tom has a teacher's appointment, whatever, we were missing a lot of key moments. And so it's difficult to have to leave, I guess.
Any moment on the boys. Has not only made me question my career choice, but also my life. No, I think there was only one moment in my life that I can remember where I was contemplating walking away, and it was very early on. And I had just turned 19, and I had just come off a television show called Mr. Rhodes that was like my first real gig when I moved out to LA at 18. And I worked for a full season at NBC, for NBC at Universal Studios, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. And then that show got canceled, and by that time, like, all my friends back home were all in college, and they were, sharing all these incredible stories, and I was also a kid, I was 19, and I was really, really homesick. And I wanted to go home. I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. And I was up for a job. I had one audition and I had a callback coming, and this was the moment where I was like, I don't think I'm going to do this. I want to go home. I want to go to college and just go that path that I had abandoned. And I was like, I'll tell you what, if I get this role, then I'm meant to stay. And it was Days of Our Lives. Yeah, I signed a 3-year deal, so I couldn't go. But I was literally like already starting to pack my stuff and just had it ready, and I put it all on that one. And I didn't think I was going to get it. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to get this. So, because I literally thought I was not getting that role. I was the youngest guy that was up for the role. I was certainly the least developed muscularly. Like, all of those soap guys were just all jacked and ripped, and I was some skinny kid from Texas. And I thought, there's no way they're going to go with me. They're going to get some big Adonis pretty boy guy, and they went with the skinny kid from Texas, and that's why I'm still here.
Hi, Jared and Jensen. It's really nice to meet you guys. My question was, I'm a teacher here in Bellevue at an alternative program. And a lot of the students that I work with are facing some really significant challenges and obstacles on their way to graduation and adulthood. And some of them love Supernatural. And so I wanted to ask you guys, what advice, and I'm getting this recorded so they'll see it this fall, what advice would you give to these kids as they're trying to figure out their way?
We've both been there, leaving school and high school can be difficult, middle school, high school, I'm sure college, I didn't make it, but I'm sure college can be difficult as well. The stuff that I care about most in my current life isn't stuff that I knew about in high school, and so I didn't have that grounding, like emotional center to go like, hey, this too shall pass. But this too shall pass, and the good from high school will last forever, the bad from high school stays behind high school. So there's going to be some good, there's going to be some bad, but the good's going to stick around as long as you want it to. So just keep on putting one foot in front of the other, and you got this.
You have so much time. You're so young, you have so much time. You don't have to have it all figured out right now. Some people do, and that's great, but that is not the norm. I mean, I just shared a story where I was 18, 19 years old, and I didn't know what I was doing. And I mean, I got very fortunate because something helped guide me along the way. So be available for those road signs, but don't think you gotta have it figured out. You've got so much time. Live your life. Enjoy being young. Experience as much as you can, and that'll only improve your life later. So there you go, and good luck.
Yeah.
Guys, say hello.
Really out of breath.
It might be the actual last question.
Please say hi to fellow SPN family member, Carrie-Anna. From Seattle, Washington, hometown girl. All right, so you are the last question, so you get to come see what we get to look at for an hour. All of these lovely, smiling family members. That's something you know, it's terrifying. So, what is your question?
I was going to ask, what was your least favorite costume you ever had to wear, or a funny moment with that costume?
Oh, okay. Least favorite costume. You had to wear a lot.
Favorite costume? I had a lot. It might have been the leader husband. It was not comfortable at all. I feel like there's more. I feel like there's maybe a better. Do you have one? Do you have one in mind?
I do. What's that?
What about the PE coach guy with the short shorts?
Coach?
I like that.
I can't say the gym coach outfit because it was my idea. But I told you, like I literally was like, guys, I know what he looks like. And they just had they had me in like sweats, which I probably in hindsight should have done. But I based it off a football coach that I had in my junior high school. And with the bike, Bob, you remember the bike shorts? Remember those, like, the coat, they were like baseball pants that were shorts. Hideous. I mean, you know what I'm talking about, I wore them. And they couldn't find them because I guess they weren't making them anymore, thank God. But they finally sourced a pair, and they were bright red.
I think they stopped making them because they were flammable from 100 feet away.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, is that what they were called? Never mind.
I didn't love I think the episode was called Swap Meet, the body swap.
Yeah.
The fast food outfit. Because we're shooting in the winter, and there's like a scene where I woke up and Gary's in my body, and it was pissing rain, it was freezing outside, and I had to wear it, and it was so bitterly cold. And I was just like this really tight, I think. Oh, in the insane asylum costume, the just white shirt and sweatpants was fine, but they bought a bunch of really cheap slippers, from some factory, and if you wore them for a day, your foot smelled like cheap rubber for like a month.
Gary, your feet still smell.
They still do. So yeah, that one wasn't ideal.
I just thought of one when Dean gets attacked by a hellhound and like rips his chest. So this was before visual effects had really kind of advanced to the technology that we have today. So they had to do it practically, and so my clothes were plumbed, and I had hoses going up into my shirt, and there was a hose that then went down my leg and across the set over to a special effects guy who had a massive bucket of blood and a plunger that was like 3 times the size of a turkey baster, and he would get all the blood out of the plunger, and then he would just wait for me to fall on the ground, and he was just like, and just all this blood just like gurgling up and like spewing over.
And TV blood is super sticky.
It's corn syrup.
It's basically corn syrup, colored corn syrup.
So it was whatever your outfit or whatever you're wearing has plumbing involved. It's going to be a bad day. It's going to be a bad day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Jensen Ackles and
This is a heart to rescue.